Family, friends, and colleagues gathered to celebrate a perfect gentleman, the acting Comptroller General of Nigeria Customs Service, Mr. Adewale Bashir Adeniyi. The party took place at Raddisson Hotels in Ikeja, Lagos, where guests were treated to a lovely dinner. It was a gathering of many media practitioners and PR gurus. The celebration began with opening remarks by the host, Chief Adedayo Ojo, who is the Chief Executive Officer, Caritas Communications Limited. The event was anchored by Master Compere, Kaycee, who recognized the presence of every guest. The highest point of the event were tributes from family and friends, followed by Larodo Cultural Group performances, after which it was fun galore. They went further to appreciate him for his contributions to the development of the community and prayed for him and his family for a successful tenure.
Please, can you help me welcome with a big round of applause the CGC Nigeria Customs Service, Adewale Adeniyi. Ladies and gentlemen, please can we give him a big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Wonderful, wonderful. Yeah, thank you so much, thank you. They say beside every man, there is a wonderful woman supporting our Oga. So it would be right to also give the wife of the CGC a resounding applause. Ladies and gentlemen, let's put our hands together for Mrs. Adewale. Thank you, ma. Wonderful. Ma, the reason I did that, I just got married, I'm a young man. So I'm learning how to recognize women. I know to help us take this event to the next level, I want to bring up a distinguished gentleman, the man that will be giving us the welcome remark to introduce us and let us know how this event is going to be.
Distinguished ladies and gentlemen of the press, why are we here? In my view, we are here primarily to celebrate the remarkable achievements of a friend and a brother who has dedicated his youth, his energy to serving this country and has had a remarkable story. Remarkable story in the sense that it is not often that we celebrate professionalism in this country. So that we have somebody at the helm of affairs in one of Nigeria's most pivotal public institutions, the Customs Service, I think is remarkable. And I thought that beyond that, the fact that we have someone who has spent, like I said, 30 years, and indeed, in my view, 30 years service anywhere is not a big deal to many of us here. Our big uncle, Chief Adedayo is there. I see a number of my friends. YBO is there, more than 30 years. Tuji Olubodi is there, more than 30 years. So 30 years in itself is not a big deal. But the 30 years that demonstrates focus, tenacity.
want to say that we're very proud of you. We look up to your distinguished achievements for you to be able to hold your head high in such a complex environment and to rise to the very top and get exactly what you deserve through all the meritorious service in your years of career. You will continue to be a shining light and a mentor for us in Modakeke, in public service, and in the private sector as well. Okay? And of course, I will give a message from His Royal Highness that you must continue to support our environment and make it better and better. It will become the Dubai of Africa very soon. If all of us put our hands together.
In many ways, this speaks to the character of the man that we are all gathered to celebrate today. Adewale is probably one of the greatest Nigerians I've met, and I've been around for the better part of 5 decades. A man who is at home, wherever he finds himself, across the length and breadth of this country. There are many things I could say about him, but let me start from the perspective of what brought us together, and that's with the fact that we graduated from the same department at the Obafemi Awolowo University. So like my born as well, Carl started with Great Ife. Great Ife, hey, I love you. There is only one Great Ife in the universe. Another Great Ife is the counterfeit of great.
Wale and I, we are classmates in Ife. We sat together in the classroom. When he was appointed, I actually did an article that went round. I wrote an article called The Wale I Know. So I will not take 40 minutes or 40 years to tell you about Wale. Everything I wanted to say is already in the article. But I will say something new that is not in the article today. The few things I said about Wale in those days when we were in school is that he's a professional captain. Let me put it that Wale is a professional captain. Wale was the captain of our class in school. Wale was the captain of Man O' War in school. Wale was the captain of our department, because we have a class, we have department. So Wale was the captain of the entire department. Natural leader. And Wale leads with simplicity, with humility. So you wouldn't know he's leading.
But what we need to do is to place you at the hand of God and to pray for you so that you can excel. Wale olórúkọ mi Adeniyi ada fún ẹ. Ìmọ̀ ọgbọ́n àti òye tó àfi ṣàṣeyọrí Ọlọ́run fi kí ìké ẹ̀. Ojú burúkú ò ní wò ẹ́ o. Gbogbo àwọn tó ti ṣe tán rí ṣe ìwárí tí ẹ ṣe. O ní ṣe tì. Torí pé gbogbo wa ti ń wò ẹ́ ká dẹ̀ fẹ́ kó ṣe àṣeyọrí. Ọlọ́run á jẹ́ kó ṣe àṣeyọrí. Gbogbo nǹkan tó bá kó wọrí bí àtèyí tó mí àtèlé tí ò mí ò ní pàdánù ọ̀sán. Àwọn èèyàn máa wẹ̀ ọ́, àwọn ọ̀tá ẹ̀wọ̀n nílé ẹgbẹ́ ṣe o. Ojú burúkú ò ní wò ẹ́, ó ní kó ẹsẹ̀. Ní agbára Ọlọ́run àpáta ayérayé, wọ́n máa gbórúkọ ẹ̀, wọ́n á mọ̀ pé ìgbà tó ṣe custom general pé ìgbà dáadáa ní Nàìjíríà. You are acting, wọ́n á confirm ẹ̀ lágbára Ọlọ́run. Àwọn senate á confirm ẹ̀ lágbára Ọlọ́run. Ní orúkọ bàbá, àti ní ti ọmọ, àti ní ti ẹ̀mí mímọ́, wàá ṣàṣeyọrí o. Thank you very much.
So I want us to raise our glasses to this wonderful gentleman, a man of many parts, for a successful tenure as the Comptroller General of Customs. So shall it be. Hip, hip, hip. Hooray! Hip, hip, hip. Hooray! Hip, hip, hip. Hooray! I have a song. For he's a jolly good fellow. For he's a jolly good fellow. For he's a jolly good fellow. And so say all of us. And so say all
Hooray! Hooray! For he's a jolly good fellow. For he's a jolly good fellow. For he's a jolly good fellow.
Paragraphs or even speech good enough to express the depth of my appreciation to all of you for coming around to felicitate with me, for the kind words and some of them not so kind. Well, you know yourself, I know. Yes. He was the immediate past president. He's no longer president of APRA, so you are no longer in my protocol list. It might be very, very difficult for me to start mentioning them, but just allow me to single out somebody here. And when you look up to somebody for inspiration and motivation right from your very little age, it's always good that you have somebody that you draw this inspiration from. And this gentleman has been a very great source of inspiration to me. He has guided me, he has mentored me. He was in service, this time private service, and he distinguished himself, rising to the very top in the banking profession. And he never had his name blemished, even when some of his colleagues walked in the corridor of Kirikiri prisons and all of that for financial malfeasance. Chief Adedayo Ojo, please just say hello to you. You will need to sit down so that part of the 2 minutes will not go for the applause. He first mentioned Adedayo Ojo. He first mentioned this about 2 months ago, shortly after the announcement. And exactly what Uncle Benga Roger said. I don't know why we still call him Uncle. Everybody calls him Uncle, nobody calls him Chief. But he spoke chiefly, not as an uncle. And the first question I said, why don't we wait? Why don't we, let me get confirmed. Let me show something in office. He said, look, we owe you this obligation. We need to show the world that we are proud of you. And, let the younger kids in Modakeke, let them feel challenged that the community has produced this and they can see something that they look forward to. So I agreed, and he has Philipoti Fonaroka. I don't know how to do that. Or that he has done making a total of 13 altogether. I want to say a very big thanks to you for you and your team for putting all of these things together. Yes, like you identified
you.